Hello and welcome to Bruce Springsteen Guitar Lessons. Hope you're all staying safe and well during these crazy times. Okay, so today's lesson is a live version of Incident on 57th Street. This is a live performance from a Madison Square Garden show on the 7th of November 2009. Thanks very much to patron CJ Yeckley for the request. welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that walkthrough. So now what we're going to do is go through all the individual parts. Okay, so this version is in the key of B flat major, and the tempo is around 103 BPM or thereabouts. So let's take a look at the chords that Bruce is doing first. So for me, I can really only see three main chords that he's playing. He might change it up a little bit in the live version. It's quite hard to see and also hear it in the YouTube video that I was sent, but predominantly three main chords. So the first one is a B flat over F, or it's basically, think of it as a partial B flat bar chord. So you're barring the third fret on the D, the G and the B strings, and then you're also doing an E flat over G, which is a really cool kind of Rolling Stones kind of type chord. And it allows you to kind of chop and change between this B flat and E flat really easily. So the second chord, E flat over G, is third finger, fifth fret, D string, first finger, third fret, G, then middle finger, fourth fret, B. That's an E flat over G. So in the song structure, which I'll put up on the screen now, I've referred to the B flat over F as just a B flat, but then I've just kept the E flat over G in the song structure, just to remind you that it's not a kind of a bar chord E flat shape. It is a kind of an unusual shape if you're not used to that. So again, with the song structure, these will all be in the description, and I like to keep them as simple as possible. Any chords that are in brackets basically means there's more than one chord in that particular bar, but obviously check the walkthrough. Don't forget you can slow it down in any YouTube video using the cog icon, so that'll help, you know, if you're playing along with the a backing track, or if you're playing along with the YouTube video, the walkthrough. So cool. Okay, so that was the B flat over F, E flat over G, and then also finally F chord. So this is kind of a broken F chord. I think sometimes he might, it's quite hard to hear, but he might be adding his little finger to do an F sus4. Predominantly F chord is a broken kind of bar chord shape. Third finger, third fret D, middle finger, second fret G, and then barring the first fret on the B and the E strings with your first finger. Okay, so that's B flat over F, and E flat over G, and then F. So really nice and simple, but sound great. You've also kind of got some bar chords that you might, if you were playing this in a band situation, you might want to, you know, a rhythm guitarist behind the intro solo that we're just going to go through. You might want to play some sort of simple, you know, B flat, and there's also G minor in the intro over this kind of the main piano riff. So that's a G minor as well. If you were to do that again, you didn't want to play the intro riff and play some chords, B flat, G minor, then B flat, and then kind of an E flat. Cool, so they're the chords. So what we'll do now is go through the intro riff. So you've got that really cool piano riff that I attempted in the video. It took a while, but yeah, so I just love that piano intro. It sounds great. And then obviously Bruce comes in with this really awesome riff. Okay, that comes in on the and of 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and okay, so this is the 18th fret of the B string. Again, it's going to be B flat major pentatonic. It's going to start in the, you can either think of it as the edge of the first shape or the start of the second shape on the B string, 18th fret B string. Then you got this kind of slow bend on the 20th fret of the E string, so right up the end of the neck. Now slow bend and aim a bit of vibrato on there. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're going to have 2 pre-bends, so hit it twice on the end of 4 and the of 4 when they're already pre-bent up. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a. Then you've got a pre-bend. So pre-bending it, then go to the 18th fret of the E string. Then you've got a grace note hammer on from 18 to 20 on the B. And these are triplet crotchets or triplet quarter notes that are coming up here. So 3 notes in the space of 2 beats. Okay, so this last bit, 18th fret, hammer on straight away to the 20th fret of the B string. Then 18th fret E, 20th fret B, then 18th fret on the B. Okay, so I'll just play those kind of sort of first 3 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 1, and 2, and 3. Cool, so it's a really cool, again, what a great little intro riff there. Now at the end of that bar here, 18th fret on the B string, you're going to come in with the 15th fret on the B string and then hammer on to the 16th fret of the B. And then you've got again another set or 2 sets of triplet quarter notes. So hammer on 15 to 16 of the B, then 15 B, 17 G, 15 G, then you go to the 8th fret of the G, and then a bend and release on the 10th fret, which is tied to the next bar. Okay, and then you've got 2 more bends. Okay, so I'm going to play up to what we've done so far. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 1, and 2, and 3. Triplets there. And then at the end of the bar, 15, 16, 15, 17, 15, 8 on the G, then bend and release, 10th fret G. Now at the end of this bar, you're going to bend it again, 10th fret, bit of vibrato, and then most of the long notes in any of these solos tends to be vibrato at the end, and then you're going to do a pre-bend at the end of the next bar and let it kind of ring out, then change your guitar settings to clean, ready for the verse. So I'll just play that all again. Okay, so this is the intro kind of solo. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 1, and 2, and 3, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a really kind of cool intro riff. Okay, so let's take a look at the first verse. So it's worth noting that actually, aside from the intro solo and the massive outro solo, Bruce's guitar playing is actually quite minimal on this kind of live recording. So it's worth kind of, the parts I've suggested are quite kind of stripped down. You might feel that they need to be stripped down even further. He'll also vary up some of the picking a lot as well. So it's worth using what I'm going to suggest in a minute, and you could always kind of change it up if you wanted to make it that extra bit closer to the live recording. But I mean, sometimes he's not playing much at all. So this is the parts that I've suggested that will work really well over the first verse and a lot of the other sections. So basically, in terms of timing, I'm going to do that down, down, up, down, up pattern that we've done so much before. Bruce uses it a lot for strumming and also picking, and he's doing a variation on this most of the time. So I'm going to take that B flat chord. I've suggested kind of strumming on beat 1, and then picking a downstroke 3rd fret D string, and then upstroke 3rd fret B, and then there's a tie, and then you're going to go up, down, up on the G, the D, and the G string. So you've got this timing wise 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. So 1 crotchet, a quarter note, 6 quavers or 8th notes, and then one of them, the first half of beat 3 is tied. So down, down, up, down, up. And it allows you to then go to the E flat of a G, do the same thing. Then F. You're going to do 2 bars, then B flat, E flat, then B flat, and then basically going to do a slight variation. He's doing something like this at the end of the first verse. So F major, down, down, up, down, up. So picking wise here, we're going to do downstroke. These are the last 2 bars of the first verse. Downstroke on the F, then down on the D string, then up on the E, B, G, and then down on the D, and then up on a G. So timing wise, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. So it just varies it up a little bit. So I'll just play that whole of the first verse with the kind of suggested picking and strumming. If you weren't too comfortable with the picking, you could always sort of strum it lightly. With the kind of same rhythm, that will work really well as well. So down, down, up, down, down, E flat, 2 bars of F. 1 bar of B flat, 1 bar of E flat, back to B flat, then slight variation on the F. And you're going to do that twice, I think. So again, you don't have to do the variation on the first time round. Again, mix it up. It tends to end of each section is just something slightly different, I think. So that'll work really well. And again, when you go into the second verse, you can just do, it's 8 loops of that kind of B flat, 4-bar phrase, B flat, and then E flat, and then 2 bars F. And later on, for example, in the 4th verse, what I've suggested to do in the 4th verse is just do the same thing, but then kind of build up the dynamics again. So this is where the whole band are they're singing more, maybe build up the velocity of your playing, maybe do a little bit more strumming rather than picking. Just maybe build up the dynamics. And in the 5th verse, I've even suggested just really go for the strumming, because it's really building up just before he does the guitar solo, Down, up, down, and that'll work really well. Okay, so let's take a look at the first and second breaks. So just by watching and listening to the YouTube performance of this, I noticed that he was probably picking a little bit more. So I suggested another picking pattern that you can use for this first break. And then you're going to revert back to the picking pattern that we've just done for the first verse for the second break. So let me just play the first break. So what you're going to do, this new picking pattern, it's going to start off on the E flat over G. Okay, so what we're doing is 2 bars of E flat, 2 bars of B flat, and I'm going to do that twice, but with this new picking pattern, I'm going to do this. All quavers or 8th notes, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so what you do here is down, then up on the B string, up on the G, down on the D, up on the B, up on, basically do that twice basically. So down, up, and then do those 3 notes again. And then finish off with an upstroke 3rd fret G, okay? So strum the chord, then do an upstroke B, upstroke G, downstroke on the D, then up on the B and the G, and then downstroke on the D, and then upstroke on the G. And that will just work really nicely. Again, if you think it's doing something slightly different, feel free to just, adapt it a little bit. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then 2 bars of the, and then basically just do the same thing with the B flat, same picking pattern, and then go back to the E flat over G for 2 bars, and then B flat, and then basically after that you've got 4 bars of E flat over G. And 2 bars of B flat. Again, he will vary it up, so feel free, you can do that occasionally, and then just strip it down or do some strumming, etc. So that's the structure of the first break. Now in the second break, finally he's probably picking a little bit less, so maybe revert to the first verse picking pattern that we did. So the second break starts off pretty much the same, but just going to go the down, down, up for 2 bars of E flat, 2 bars of B flat, and then 4 bars of E flat. Okay, now in the song structure I've actually put some chords in purple. That's just to show where you're going to be doing semi-breathes or whole notes. And here you really want to do not much more than just 1 strum per chord. So at the end of this second break, you see the last 3 chords are in purple. It's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're going to do this, the F chord, 1, 2, 3, 4, and actually let it ring out for 2 bars, this F, okay? That's the same at the end of the second chorus as well. We're going to go through in a minute. Okay, so that's the break section. So what we're also going to do before we go into the chorus section, so again, you can mix up these patterns as much as you like as well. Let's just go through kind of Stevie's kind of chords I think he's doing roughly. Again, just looking at the YouTube video and working it out from there. He seems to be doing more kind of fuller bar chord shapes, I think, than Bruce is doing. He's obviously doing these kind of partial shapes and picking with them, and then obviously it's filled out nicely with Neil's. I think he's doing capo 3, so he's playing like a G shape. I was watching a few that I think the same similar that Patty is doing as well. So Neil's, I think he's just doing strumming on the acoustic, capo 3, and just kind of matching, when Bruce is doing a B flat, he'll be doing a G shape that will be a B flat, and then for example when you're going to an E flat, Neil's will be doing a C. So it's worth checking that out as well. I'll put that on the backing track. So when the guitar solo happens, by the way, the guitar solo video will probably be available on the day of this release or the following evening, so they will be on Patreon. So again, it's massive solo for this, the outro solo. That will be on Patreon either today or tomorrow. But the chords behind that Stevie's doing, that I've done in the walkthrough as well, suggested doing a whole bar of B flat, so down, down, up, down, up, the whole, the full bar chord. So that's B flat major, 1, 3, 3, 3, 1. So nice, your standard down, down, up, down, up pattern. And then for the E flat, I suggested kind of doing an E flat 5 power chord. You may well be playing this. So first finger, 1st fret D, 3rd finger, 3rd fret G, little finger, 4th fret B. So you're only playing 3 strings here, and that will just work really nicely. So again, this is just a 4-bar loop that actually worked out, goes on for 19 rounds in the guitar solo. So it's a long guitar solo, but again, it's kind of iconic. It sounds great. So you're basically looping around B flat, E flat for 1 bar, and I've suggested a bit of a fuller F over C chord. Again, this is Stevie's suggested parts. F over C, so fret-wise 3, 3, 2, 1, 1. So think of that broken F we did, but then also drop your 3rd finger to the ring finger to the A string, and add your little finger to the 3rd fret of the D string. And then you're just going to loop this 4-bar progression round and round underneath the guitar solo. So B flat, E flat 5, F over C for 2 bars, and that just worked really nicely. It's also worth noting that during the last 3 rounds, you don't really want to go really hardcore with your strumming. You want to be sort of bringing it all down before Roy does his kind of outro piano bit. So you're not going to go. You're going to build up basically throughout the song, 4th verse, 5th verse, and the guitar solo, and then just towards the end of the guitar solo, bring the volume levels down a bit. Okay, so let's take a look at the 1st and 2nd choruses. Okay, so in the 1st chorus, what we've got is we're going to do a new strumming pattern for the first 4 bars. So basically what you're going to do with the E flat over G, you're just going to go 1 crotchet or quarter note, and then 2 quavers or 1/8 notes, down, down, up, and that's a 2-beat pattern that's repeated to fill up the bar. So you've got this, works really well with the other instruments. Again, Bruce may just be doing this sort of minimal amount here, but this will work really well. So E flat over G, 4 bars of this pattern. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and that's bar 2, bar 3, bar 4. And then you get this cool little rhythmic section come out from the next 2 bars. So in the song structure, I've got, this is where they've got 2 bars with 5 chords in brackets here. So the first 2 beats, you're going to start with a B flat over F, down, down, up. And that's tied for half a beat. Then you're going to do an upstroke on the E flat over G, then rest for half a beat, and at the end of this bar, the B flat. So this is why there's 3 chords in brackets in the song structure. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. Okay, so it should be down, down, up, down. Also down, down, up, down, down, up, on the B flat. And another rest. This takes you into the 2nd bar of this pattern. Then an F chord, upstroke. And then B flat major, up, down, down, up. Okay, so this is kind of the 2nd line of each 1st and 2nd chorus. So you've got this down, down, up, B flat, upstroke, E flat, the rest, then back to the B flat, upstroke, F, upstroke, B flat, up, down, down, up. Okay, I'll play that slowly with counting now. So 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and. And we'll just work really nicely because you've got that nice little kind of rhythmic bit that all the other instruments are kind of, you know, zoned in on as well. Okay, so chord wise, B flat, E flat, B flat, F, B flat. And then go back to that 4 bars of the E flat with the down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. Bar 2, bar 3, bar 4. Okay, and then it's just your normal kind of verse picking pattern. B flat, F, E flat, 2 bars, and then B flat, semi-breathe. Okay, and then what we've got is so just a new picking pattern. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. You might even be occasionally adding his little finger for the sus4 chord here, possibly. So here you've got downstroke, and then up on the E and the B. All alternate picking, so down, up, down on this G string, up on the E and B again, then G, downstroke, and then B, upstroke. Okay, so these are the last 2 bars of the first chorus. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So it works really well. You've got quite a lot going on there. It's just a really nice kind of upbeat part of the song. So let me play that whole of the first chorus. So you've got the E flat first, 4 bars. 2, 3, 4, and then the cool rhythm bit. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. 4 bars of E flat again. 2, 3, and then 4. B flat, normal picking. F. 2 bars of E flat. And then semi-breathe. 1, 2, let it ring out, and then the 2 bars of F with a different picking pattern. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Cool, so I really like this part. It sounds great with all the different rhythms and all the other instruments doing, you know, that cool little organ riff as well. So then we've also got, if we go through the second chorus, you're pretty much going to do the same thing, apart from the last 3 bars. Just go 1, you know, let the B flat ring out, and then let the F ring out. Maybe do a little bit of picking for 2 bars. So you can, you know, add that sus4 chord if you want. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes he's kind of just improvising on the spot. So let me just play the second chorus just quickly, just to show you the slight differences between that and the first chorus. So you've got 4 bars of E flat, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, in the full rhythm. Then back to the 4 bars of E flat. Okay, then you've got the B flat, F, 2 bars of E flat, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, and just let it ring it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's pretty much all the parts. Again, you know, the main kind of riffs that Bruce is doing is in the intro solo, and then that massive outro solo. Again, that will be available on Patreon tonight or tomorrow. But again, the rest of it's quite minimal, so you might find that some of the picking patterns I've suggested is maybe even too much. You can even sort of strip it down even further, possibly. But I hope you've enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it, and any comments or suggestions, let me know in the comments section below, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks very much again to CJ for requesting the song. It's been a bit of a challenge doing this one because it's so long, but it's such a brilliant song. So yes, cool. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you next week. Cheers, bye.